Steve, is Kevon noticeably leaner?
Yeah, Kevon looks great. Really worked hard on his diet over the summer. He's lost weight. He's toned up. Playing very well. He's having a good camp so far.
He had a pretty good summer too. He was down. Not even summer, but
I just think that his first 2 years he had surgery, one on each hip. This is the first time I think he really has the confidence in his body, where he knows what to expect, and it's definitely been the best that he's looked in his young career.
Is he faster now? Is he moving faster?
Yeah, moving a little faster. Mainly, it's just moving more confidently. That makes sense. I mean, he's never going to be a speed guy, but just he's confident in his body and his movement. That's Bob's question. Honestly, I don't even pay attention to that stuff. And then Bob will come to me at whenever, and we'll hash that stuff out.
Steve, with Kevin going through a second training camp around here, does everything just seem more seamless?
Oh, yeah. Last year, he was trying to figure out what the hell we were doing. And this year, he's totally dialed in, understands the concepts, and comfortable in his surroundings, not only on the floor but off, and he's a different guy this year.
Even Mike Brown said last year that it was an adjustment for him coming in with music blaring, and because he also, with everything he did for you guys down the stretch, Mike also seemed pretty comfortable.
Yeah, Mike's he's so happy here. He tells me all the time how much he loves working here, how much he loves living in the Bay, and we're obviously lucky to coach a great roster, and so everybody I think is very, very comfortable, and got to keep our edge. That's the key. But it's good that everybody's locked in and comfortable in their surroundings.
You have a little scrimmaging today?
Yeah, not it was controlled. We did 5-on-5-on-5, so it forces you to play in the half court. So you got one team waiting and never any transition. We did, among a few other controlled scrimmages. We didn't blow it out. We'll probably do that tomorrow.
You keep the starters together for that?
Not yet. We'll do that at some point, but we haven't gone that route yet. We've been splitting it up. We got 19 guys. We try to even out the teams.
How do you pace things? When you have a big international long trip coming up for China and 2 games over there, and sort of making sure guys are fresh, even though.
That's why we took the day off yesterday. We just kind of have a feel for that stuff. We're not doing any 2-a-days. We know it's a long season ahead, so we've had 4 really good practices and a day off, so everything's right where it needs to be, and we'll see how the China trip affects us, but we'll try to plan accordingly.
How are the new guys picking up the system? Le'Veon, Caspi, Jordan Bell?
Well, it's a lot easier to pick up the system when you're only one of 2 or 3 new guys instead of 6 or 7, because all the other guys who have been here, they can help, and everything flows more smoothly. And so I think it's an easier job this year for the new guys to blend in because there are fewer of them.
I know you're not running a popularity contest there, but do you think because of your guys' success in the past few years, and also because of the White House stuff, that you guys maybe will get some negative fan reaction?
Oh yeah, sure. We got plenty of that last year, and even the year before. I mean, the only time I felt like we were sort of the fresh, fun story was the first year when people didn't expect us to win the championship. And since then, we've been a target, and so opposing fans they're going to let us have it, and it's a fun position to be in.
Have you got any email or anything recently about any of the political stuff?
I've received a few emails, mostly positive, some negative, but that's all part of it.
What do you think of the training camp invitees and how they handle coming in, knowing there's 15 guys on guaranteed deals?
Well, they all know coming in before they arrive, what the deal is. They know that there's really not an open roster spot given our guarantees. So those guys are coming in to get better as players, preparing for Santa Cruz if that's the route they go. So they knew what they were getting into. They've all been really good. I've been very impressed with them.
What's your take on what's going on with the NCAA right now?
NCAA. There's a reason I coach in the NBA. I never wanted to be a college coach, so I don't immerse myself in that stuff. But yeah, the NBA is just very pure. We don't need to make any apologies or concessions about what we're doing. We're just playing basketball, and it's a business. And the NCAA obviously has to figure out on many levels who they are, what they're doing.
You know, Nancy Pelosi tweeted yesterday, and their invitation is still on the table. Is that something you think is in the cards when you go over there?
Sure. Everything's on the table, but we're in training camp right now. I'm not. It's the last thing I'm thinking of is what we're going to do in Washington in January. We got lots of people who are working on that. Our coaching staff and our players are working on getting better and playing basketball.
You and Iguodala have both made comments about Nick Young's hesitancy to shoot just in practices. Has that changed at all? Have you seen his confidence level go up? And how difficult do you think it is for new guys coming into a team like the Warriors that has so much pressure to just keep winning?
I think going to a new team is always difficult for everybody in the NBA, especially as a vet, where you get used to one team and then you move on to another one and your environment changes. So it'll take a little time for Nick to get comfortable, but he's doing a great job, and I wouldn't worry about him shooting. That's not going to be a problem.
Do you guys have any plans for your own national anthem around the NFL? Have you talked about it?
Training camp, 4 days of practice. First couple of days there's all kinds of media stuff, and the last couple of days have been playing basketball, and that hasn't even been discussed.
When you say you're planning accordingly for the China trip, what sort of have you mapped out in terms of how to prepare for that and the aftermath of
we kind of know we're not going to get a ton of work done while we're in China. So we'll try to get whatever we can do while we're in China, we're going to do. But we have to, be ready for the fact that we're not going to have time to get everything in that we want to get in. So we got to stick to the basics while we're there, stick to conditioning, and just some fundamental stuff, not try to get too creative, and then get back and make sure we adjust to the time change. And then we only have, when we get back, we only have about a week or so, I think, until the regular season. So it happens fast.
So that's again the benefit of having only a couple new guys.
Yeah. It would have been really tough to go overseas last year with all the new guys.
Steve, as talented as Kevin is, obviously the rest of the group, what was the process last year? The integration part, training camp.
What was the process of what?
Kevin's obviously talented, the rest of the team. But last year, what was the integration like, just overall?
Last year?
Figuring things out, yeah.
It took a couple months for him to feel comfortable with our style of play more than anything. It's one thing to memorize a play, it's another thing to feel comfortable with the concepts of what you're trying to accomplish every time down the floor. And then there's a lot of little nuances within that. So I thought it took him a couple months, and then he figured it out, and he was off and running.
So, with that obviously being clear this year, we're worried about 30-second play as far as his start.
Kevin? Yeah, I think he'll pick up where he left off. He was Finals MVP, and he's looked great in the first 4 days, and he's one of the best players in the world. And so, not a whole lot of mystery.
Haven't played basketball in so long. It's good to be out there with the guys, and on top of that, learn new system, learn new players. It's been fun, but it's been a little fun.
I guess you're still in the process of shaking the rust off a little bit after being out for so long.
Are you pain-free? Is it bothering you at all? Are you just entirely pain-free? I mean, I'm pain-free. I wouldn't be out there if I had pain. It's just, getting used to playing basketball again. I've been away from the game for so long. I've been on the rehab table, and now it's time to finish being a basketball player.
When you talked about, does it feel nice to actually be out there doing basketball things?
It feels great. That's my job. So I love my job.